guys, welcome back to Let Your Love Be Real Talk Show. I'm your host, Markia Butler. They say practice makes perfect with anything you do. Be sure to love. Why wait to create? When your work works from the mind, beyond the imagination, art can be defined and expressed in all ways. So today, follow along as we color your worlds with some beautiful, unique, captivating art. And you might want to get a pen and paper because these tips are as bright as the color wave of anyone's future. I would like to share this incredible creator and founder. Not only is he bringing awareness through his art, he is physically bringing it to the people. Erik enjoys giving back to the communities by raising money for charities. We are going to dive into this interview and learn more art with Erik. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in with Let Your Love Be Real Talk Show. I'm Markia Butler, and we have today a special guest. Hello, please explain yourself and who you are. Tell us a bit more about you.
Well, my name is Erik Jan Pleiner. That's my name, but I go by Erik The Artist. These are some of my paintings. I've been creative since I was a child, and now I've gotten pretty good by doing it so long. And there's a huge charity component as well with all my art. So it's making a difference and being colorful.
That's wonderful. So, Erik, when did you realize that you had a gift in the arts?
Well, when I was 5 years old, living in Glen Ellen, Illinois, I entered a coloring contest at the local grocery market. So you just had to color a picture, and I actually won. And I was in the parade, and I didn't want to be in the parade, but started at a young age, and then I always liked it. But it's just a matter of I just really practiced and just got good at it and found my little niche.
Okay, so 5 years old now, was it just starting with painting or did you start like drawing? Like what area did you start in first with the arts?
Well, I was good with color, so I was coloring, and then I started drawing, and then I started using watercolors, and eventually got into the acrylic paints, oil paints. Later in my career, I started painting on layers of plexiglass in dimension and illuminating the paintings. So, and now I've gotten back onto canvas. Some of the clients like on canvas. So.
Okay, would you please tell us a little bit about the paintings behind you?
Yeah, this one is a special painting right here. This is a painting of Rosa Parks, as I'm sure you can see there.
Mhm.
This was commissioned by a gentleman that I was working with on set on the Los Angeles Lakers project, and he wanted me to paint her mugshot. He wanted it colorful, and so as I started painting it and working on the shirt, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep it black and white and just keep it sacred to her and not mess with her. Keep it as the mugshot, even with the imperfection here, you know, on the photograph, and then just color and paint on the rest of it. So um, it's having a pretty cool impact. I'm hoping to make a bigger impact with this one to get it to the Rosa Parks Museum, see if they're interested in this, to carry it as merchandise and raise money for her continued legacy. You know, that's taking my art and trying to make it bigger than myself.
Okay, and this other one behind you?
This other one is a commission from a client who actually was at a Tim McGraw and Faith Hill concert, and she was in the front row. She had these pictures, and she asked if I could do a painting for her. So I did this collage of pictures. It's one of the bigger paintings I've done. And even with these celebrities, if Tim McGraw or Faith Hill sees it, you know what? These are paintings and prints that could be raising money for their causes. So again, it's always something trying to make it bigger than myself on the paintings.
That's wonderful. So we're going to touch back on you giving to nonprofits and charities. So I do want to ask, what gave you the tenacity to chase after the arts and your goal and dream of creating? Like, what is it that allows you to spread your wings and say, this is what I'm going to do?
Well, that's a great question, and the answer to it is through my life in college, and I have a professional sales background, so that's what I did. In addition to always being creative and being an artist, I got professionally really good in sales. So that taught me to be able to develop a product and how to do the marketing and and what it takes to have every little detail, not only in a painting, but in the business presentation. Um, and so that was the tool and the skill that I acquired as a professional salesman. I worked in Beverly Hills. I used to be the TV spokesman for a place called the Spy Shop in Beverly Hills. Gave me opportunities. It gave me confidence. Um, and so it's just parlaying that, but it's just having no fear, having confidence in myself, having confidence in my artwork, and having something that's a plan that's bigger than me. And then it's a numbers game, and I'm just putting it out there. And you know what? It's inevitable. That's how I look at it. So nothing stops me. And here's a great media exposure for me. So thank you for having me today.
You're so welcome. No, thank you. And okay, so is there one of your paintings that kind of stood out as far as like the most challenging work you've done?
Um, the the most challenging here's one. It's this is a little tiny print, and this one, the original was oil on glass, and I tried to paint it really quick one afternoon, and then it didn't get to the people that it was supposed to. And then I reworked it about a year and a half later, and I just had to keep reworking it on the glass. So that was something that was special. And then this one, this painting right here of Marlon Brando as the Godfather, uh, this was commissioned by a good client of mine, a patron, Tim. He's got a bunch of my paintings. And so he said he wanted Marlon Brando. He picked this picture from this amazing scene. And so I have to make it magical. And so I take the time to try to nail all the details. And that in turn, it takes the painting somewhere else. So um, that's another one.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, you are fantastic. Like these these paintings are phenomenal. Okay, so like all artists, there is a message that we aim to convey. So is there some sort of message intertwined into all of your work? And what is that message?
You know what? The message is the energy that I put into the paintings, and it's the person I painted. I've got a painting of Bob Marley, and it's his essence and his peace. It's a captured picture. My Jimi Hendrix painting, you know what? It had him in that state. So I'll have the pictures you'll see here of those paintings, but it's trying to relate and feel the person that I'm painting, and to do their soul the justice. Um, that's where I connect, and that's what I'm trying to get out in the paintings, is for someone to feel it, to have a feeling that, you know what, this feels like her mugshot, looks just like her. This is a big impact. And then the coloring here
Yeah.
is just to try to take it maybe as a bigger impact, because it was just, this black and white picture. So I'm hoping that it's, let's color it. It's like tiger stripes and fire behind her, and the meaning. So I hope that comes across in that one.
It does, it very much so. So do you remember your very first painting? Could you please share with us what that was for you?
Oh gosh, like a first painting
You
on
gotta think.
canvas, or you know, um, when I think to first paintings, I think about my grandparents. They got me this little book, and it was like how to use watercolors and everything. So I felt like obligated to make something for them, and I just did this tree and a tree stump with moss, and so that one stood out. And they had that for years hanging up. And when they both passed, it ended up coming back to me. So I have that somewhere. So that one kind of stands out.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. Is there a go-to color for you that you use throughout all of your paintings, or you just kind of just go from your creative aspect? Is there?
On the colorful paintings, the paintings, I go kind of like a light to dark,
Oh, that's beautiful.
as I layer the colors of the yellow to the darker, and I'm using just the straight primary colors. Um, this one was a layered painting, so it has an effect. Um, and and then what's key on something like this is the black on the Marlon Brando.
Mhm.
It actually is composed of like burgundies and green and gray, and it has all those colors. And it's a matter of breaking it down to the small. So I kind of focus on that too.
Okay, so you have, okay, so this reminds me of a Dr. Seuss quote, like when it says, "Oh, the places you'll go." So you've
Mhm.
traveled and you've met so many people. Could you share a bit of your travel experience and the people that you've met along the way?
Yeah, no, right on. My travels, my mother is from Amsterdam. So as a young boy, I was growing up going to Holland for extended periods of time. So I'm half Dutch. I was an only child, so I'm kind of very, very Dutch and very a mama's boy that way. Um, and my wife, and she's from South Brazil. So I've got travels now of South Brazil, and I have a daughter that's 10. But during all the travels and the people really started when I was working retail sales in Beverly Hills. Had people coming in like Leonardo DiCaprio after he did the Titanic, having Stevie Wonder's fiance come in, having these stories. And then between paintings, I started working in the industry as an actor, and it afforded me to work on opportunities like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Put me in a scene with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I had to yell out to him. I raised money for charities with my artwork. I've been real successful with George Lopez, so I yell out to Leo on set. I go, "Hey, Leo." He looks at me and I said, "It's Erik from the Spy Shop." And he came running over, said hi to me. And I said, "I'm raising money for charities, like to help you out." That's how my professional life then intertwined with the acting that then paralleled into my artwork. So, um, worked on a Super Bowl commercial, sat at the table with the gentleman by the name of Ed Reed, Hall of Famer for the Ravens. So Ed starts talking to me. "Hey, I'm Erik the Artist. Really, what do you paint?" I give him my card. I end up doing a painting of Ed. I fly to his Hall of Fame gala event in Baltimore and donate the painting and raise thousands for his charity based on working as an actor and now making an impact. So I've got this full turnkey for anybody out there. It's making something happen. So it's what I do.
To you being multifaceted with your paintings. I saw on your website that you put your actual paintings on clothing. Is there some advice that you can give artists out there to help them get their paintings and their art onto like clothing and just being able to brand in other areas?
Yeah, you know what? That's the most important thing is as an artist, you have to have a merchandise. You have to try to create an income from this. I have a family. So the beauty is the technology is so user friendly. Um, and what I recommend and use, and it's a piece of cake, so easy. And I've got an LA contact out here, South Bay Printers, African American owned, guys, great. Um, and it's a direct ink to garment printing. So what happens is, especially on the black t-shirts, it'll put a layer of white, and then it's like just a regular printer, and it's printing in true color your painting. You can order these onesies and twosies, and you can merchandise and market this through something like Shopify, which I use. And you can fulfill these orders like that. And anybody can do anything. You just have to do it. You just have to do it.
You just have to do it. That
You
is
just
the
have to.
beauty of it all. So I want to wrap up a bit and say thank you so much, Erik, for joining us today. Erik the Artist, where can we find you? Like, how do we get in touch with you, Erik?
Well, you can find me at eriktheartist.com. My name is spelled Erik, and then the artist. That's my Instagram. That's my Twitter as well. I've got some stuff on YouTube. And in the past, I was a singer-songwriter, used to do a lot of music. But now it's the art and it's the acting and it's making an impact. And, going after some people like Snoop Dogg, he's due for a painting. So we're going to tag him in here. And my buddy, Mr. Matt Barnes with Athletes versus Cancer, need to start raising some more money. So I'm going to call those guys out. And
All right. So, Eric, what exactly gave you the tenacity to pursue your art and your dream and make an income off of it?
Well, I was making an income as a professional salesman, so I was selling things. And I decided if I could get really good at a painting and attach myself to like one big celebrity, that could be a merchandise line that generates a lot of revenue on t-shirts, tour merchandise, and create opportunities. And that idea was hatched back in the early 2000s. And one of my guys, Lenny Kravitz, who I used to hang out with a little bit, I was going after him to paint him. So, but it takes time. He has a painting I did of his grandfather. It hangs there. But it's just keeping after it and not giving up. Even Nipsey Hussle, I heard that gentleman, he was asked, how did you make it? And he said he just never gave up. The
Hmm.
guy never gave up. That's how anybody makes it. You just don't give up. And you have to work hard, and anyone could do it. You just have to do it.
Mhm. There's so much power in not stopping. So I do want to ask, when you first began your artwork and your drawings and things, like the time difference as far as like the length of time that you spent doing it, what was the difference between then and now? Just to show other artists out there that just keep going, it does take time, but what was your, like, was it like, did you spend days working on projects, or was it like, oh, knock this out in, 5 hours, or how was that for you?
Oh, that's such a great question. And it's like getting good at anything, the elite. It takes practice and you just get better at it. So what I found is I used to make so many mistakes and always correcting paintings, and it was just a nightmare and just disasters. Um, but then I put my life on the line for a Tim McGraw painting, and it had to be perfect. And I spent the time, and it came out that good. So it gave me the confidence. Over time, by using the same small brushes, the same canvases, the same paints, looking at photographs to paint from, I get better at mixing the paints. I can see in the black all the different colors. You get better over time. I make less mistakes. So it's going quicker. And it's really fun when it goes quicker and it's easy and you just can't wait till it's done. So it's just, you just keep at it and you just get better at it, 100% for anybody.
Thank you so much for those nuggets and those tools to help us artists out here to just keep going, because there's so much power, once again, in not stopping. So
Oh,
for us
yeah.
to never give up. So thank you for joining us, Eric, on Let Your Love Be Real Talk Show. I'm your host, Markia Butler, and thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Eric, you shared your heart with us today. Thank you again. Go check out Eric's website. He has some wonderful pieces that can be that central piece that create a beautiful ambiance in our homes. Art has been known to help and inspire while we are going through healing and all sorts of trauma. We are in October, which is a month full of important causes such as breast cancer, bullying prevention, crime prevention, and domestic violence awareness month, and so much more. Let's keep shining a light on important issues, and let's keep being attentive to one another and allowing our love to be real. You are making a difference. Speaking of making a difference, send us your short films if you believe it aligns with the theme making a difference. And go on over to our website for more details at lylbr.com. I'm your host, Markia Butler, and we are Let Your Love Be Real Talk Show. Thank you for your love and support. Remember, love is the breath you breathe. So, let your love be real.